Hello there, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time you are tuning into this video, just make sure that it is good. My name is Game Boy Rob, and today we are going to do another tutorial video. We are going to take another look at a deck that I am considering putting into my list, my lineup for the tournament, the seasonal tournament coming up. In case those of you who don't know, there is a new button down here, well, newish, it's been here a little while, called Tournament. You click on this and it shows you when the next seasonal tournament is starting. And I figured I should go over this since I am planning on participating in this tournament, so I keep mentioning this, so let's talk about it. What is this thing? This is a tournament that is going to happen at the end of every single ranked season in Legends of Runeterra from here on out, right? Every season, which I believe is like every 2 months, every expansion, every time new cards come out, there should be a new season and thus a new tournament. This is going to happen. So how does it work? How do you qualify? The top 700 players in Masters rank are going to automatically qualify for this tournament, right? And that cutoff time is on the 4th of December at midnight. And if we take a look at the leaderboard, I am currently sitting at 96. So I'm at top 100 for now. If I can, grind this out a little bit and get into top 50, that's nice and all, but it doesn't really matter, right? All that matters is getting into top 700, and I'm in top 100. So odds are I will probably qualify for this tournament. The other way is through the gauntlet. If you don't have the time to grind out your master's rank and get up there into the top 700, you have an alternate way of qualifying. 324 players will qualify for this tournament by being one of the first people to complete the final gauntlet, right? This gauntlet that is coming up starting in 4 days, right? If you can be one of the first people to finish that gauntlet, one of the first 324 from your region, then you will also qualify that way, right? So what's the format for this tournament? The format is best of 3 pick and ban, which means you and your opponent both bring 3 decks, and you each ban one of your opponent's decks, and then you have to win. The first person to win with both of their decks wins, right? So I take 3 decks, my opponent takes 3 decks, I ban one of their decks, they ban one of mine, then we each choose a deck to play. Whoever wins cannot play that deck anymore. They only have 1 deck left, and as soon as they win with that deck, they win the match, right? So that's the format. It's coming up in 6 days. I'm very excited. So what decks am I bringing, right? Well, one of the ones I am considering bringing, and the topic of today's video, is going to be one of the oldest decks in the game, one of the most consistent decks in the game, Frostbite. Ashe with Sejuani in a Freljord Noxus shell, right? This is one of the oldest, most consistent formats, one of the most consistent archetypes in the whole game, right? This is a deck built around getting your Avaros and Hearthguards out on turn 5, buffing up the rest of your deck, getting as many units with 5 attack out as possible, and getting massive card draw off of this card, Trifarian Assessor. This is really what enables this format or this archetype to be a contender, right? This is the thing that makes this archetype strong and viable. So let's take a look. Often in this list, you'll see people running 3 Omen Hawks. I choose to only run 2 because while it's great if you can get it on turn 1, every Omen Hawk after the one on turn 1 feels kind of weak, and you don't want to top deck this in the late game. So we have it as just a 2 of. Instead, we've also got 2 copies of Avaros and Sentry, which is not always a card you see in this archetype. It's sort of a new addition, and it's sort of along the same idea. One of the weaknesses of this deck is that it can run out of steam in the late game if you don't draw properly. So to sort of mitigate this, we've got a couple Avaros and Sentries. Since it cycles itself, you don't feel too bad about drawing this in the late game because it'll probably just die and then get you another card draw and you'll kind of be okay, right? We've got 3 copies of Iceveil Archer because this is a Frostbite deck with Ashe. Ashe is one of our win conditions, so getting as many sources of Frostbite as possible is fantastic. Iceveil Archer plus Trifarian Glory Seeker is a fantastic combo on turn 4. Glory Seeker just has insane synergy with Frostbites in general. Since she has Challenger and such a high attack stat, she can attack into something. We Frostbite that thing. She takes no damage. She kills the opponent's unit, you know, profit, right? Fantastic combo. Now, we are running 2 copies of Troll Chant and 0 copies of Brittle Steel. And while that seems a little unintuitive, that's because of the prevalence of Ezreal in this metagame right now, right? Brittle Steel is a great card in this deck, but Troll Chant is better for protecting your units against damage-based removal, like Mystic Shot, like Get Excited, like Tri-Beam Improbulator, all that stuff, right? It also works against like single combat and that sort of stuff. So we have 2 copies of Troll Chant and no Brittle Steel, and that's the reason for that. Troll Chant also has the potential to get way more value than Brittle Steel ever could, because there are situations in which you can, you know, save 2 of your units by giving health to one and taking attack off of a different engagement elsewhere and save 2 of your units, which is fantastic. Troll Chant does synergize with the Reckoning and Culling Strike in a similar way to Frostbite, so that's very nice as well. So it definitely deserves a spot in this deck. 3 copies of Avaros and Trapper. This is probably one of the strongest non-champions in Freljord. This is just all around a strong card. There's no downside to playing it, and it gives us a 5/5 Yeti. Again, this deck really likes having units with 5+ attack because of Reckoning, because of Trifarian Assessor, so this is just a no-brainer in this deck. Great mid-range tempo card, right? 3 copies of Culling Strike, good against Ezreal, good against Tom Soraka. One of her only sources of removal in this deck is a decent card, right? Decent card. 3 copies of Flash Breeze. This is a Frostbite deck. And then we've got 3 Babbling Bjergs, 3 Hearthguards, 3 Assessors, 2 Harsh Winds as our late game Frostbite. More efficient Frostbite. This, alongside a Reckoning for 12 mana, can be utterly devastating to our opponent in the right situation. And then we have 2 Sejuanis and 1 copy of Captain Farron. Captain Farron, as you know from probably my last video, is a win condition all by himself, so he deserves a slot in this deck. He's a bit, our deck does pretty well and has insane card draw a lot of the time, so we don't need more than 1 copy of him. We don't need him to close out the game, but in some situations he does a fantastic job. So that's the deck list right there. Again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I am not claiming to have come up with this deck. This is an old venerated archetype in the game. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into a couple games and let's show you why I am considering taking this deck into the seasonal tournament. Okay, Deep Delver playing some Scouts. So this is a very interesting matchup. This is a matchup that can definitely go either way. We're gonna keep our Troll Chant here. We're gonna mull away everything else. In this matchup against Scouts, you want to be pretty low to the ground if you can. You want to be pretty light and quick. You want to have some early game units, which we do not find even a little bit.
New recruit reporting in.
This is a bit dangerous for us. Hopefully we'll draw into Trapper or something before turn 4 or before turn 3, because this is looking pretty unhelpful. Looking like a pretty unhelpful start to this match, and we don't find anything. Well, it happens.
No prey, no pay.
We're gonna try to Culling Strike this Misfortune. If it gets sharp sighted, we're probably just gonna concede. If she sharp sights, okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. Misfortune goes down.
I'll do my best.
And that's good for us. If they had a sharp sight, we would have been in a very bad position. But we do manage to spend our mana there. We don't burn anything. And we get to play the game. Probably I'd like to play Bjerg here. Ashe doesn't have a fantastic attack here. I mean, she's gonna... I assume if I play Ashe, my opponent will play something else. And then Ashe will Frostbite that thing and maybe trade into the Cithria. Actually, with Troll Chant in the back, I'm actually gonna do it. We're mostly gonna do this because we have 0 Frostbites in our hand, unless you count Sejuani. And this way we do start progressing Ashe's level up, which is important.
Guys, but not that. Show me a target.
We're gonna attack like this again.
I'm ready.
I find it rather unlikely that our opponent has drawn a sharp sight, but since we killed this misfortune last turn. So unless they literally top decked it, we should be in a good spot here. And now they can't use it anyway, so we're just gonna Culling Strike this misfortune.
I'll be damned.
Now, when this Valor tries to challenge our Ashe, we will use Troll Chant to save her. Just like that. Which essentially heals Ashe back up to full health, which is nice. And this is one of the reasons that Troll Chant is better than Brittle Steel, right? Like, we could have played a Brittle Steel there instead, if we'd had it in our deck, and Ashe would be at 1 health, but she'd be a little bit more leveled up. This is probably better. And that's why we run Troll Chant and not Brittle Steel.
Yeah, I'm up.
Alright, our opponent goes for a Grizzled Ranger. They've already burned their Scout attack, so even if they attack with this Grizzled Ranger, they won't be able to attack with him twice. So I think we are totally fine to play Trapper here. We could, like, block this with Ashe and Troll Chant, but... I don't think that's necessary.
Gotcha.
So that'll attack in. We'll take 3. And we'll probably open attack next turn. Ooh. I do like that. I do like that Ice Veil Archer. Could also play Sejuani. We have some options here. Now this deck doesn't generally run single combat, so Troll Chant isn't going to matter, isn't going to get use outside of like direct combat, right? Sejuani might be a bit greedy here, but I'm gonna go for it. We go down to 0 mana by doing this. Our opponent has 8 mana to work with. This is risky because they could like fill the board and then play like a Relentless Pursuit and really put a lot of pressure on me, and I won't be able to do anything about it. So this might not have been the best play, but I do want to threaten damage on my opponent, right? If my opponent plays another unit, Ashe will Frostbite that unit as well, and then my opponent will have 2 Frostbitten units. This Grizzled Ranger will die and create a Badger Bear, so it's possible.
Enough stalling. I'm
Okay.
actually here. Avarosans, stand together.
I was gonna say it's possible to get that big Relentless Pursuit like play, but I'm not too worried about it. I like this much better. Yeah, I think I'm happy with what I did there. Ashe is at 3 out of 5, which means with this Ice Veil Archer, our next Ashe attack.
I will fight like a proud Demacian and die like a stubborn Demacian.
Nice. Our next Ashe attack would level up Ashe and prevent our opponent from blocking anything. We finally find our Yeti, man. Maximum amount of time, I think. Yeah, that Yeti took forever to show up.
A real battle.
Okay, they pull Ashe. I'm not surprised.
Tread carefully.
They do a full attack and don't even use
Prove your
Scout,
worth.
which does surprise me. They might be going for like a Sharp Sight, maybe a Riposte. A Riposte on Quinn is probably what I'm most afraid of. We do have Troll Chant to stop it. There it is. I would like to protect Ashe here. At least a little bit. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna leave Sejuani on 2 health and Ashe on 3 health.
So
Then I think we'll play the Yeti in case he wants to attack with Quinn again. Maybe I should have troll chanted the other way around.
Glory of Demacia.
Nah. And this is why I didn't. For the glory of Demacia.
Knocked and ready.
Alright. That should be pretty much game. Ooh, especially with that extra flash freeze there. Like, we could go for Trifarian Assessor, would draw us 3 cards. Or we could just open attack with Ashe, right? Well, then again, is there any reason not to go for the Assessor here?
Few earn the right
We'll
to
go for
call
it.
themselves Trifarian.
There's always a chance we draw, like, more Frostbites. We get a Sejuani's Fury to the north.
Strength and grace.
Okay.
Beauty in the play.
So Ashe is going to Frostbite Quinn, and I am just going to also Frostbite this Badger Bear. And we'll call that an attack.
My aim is true.
Ashe levels up. Neither of these units are going to be able to attack unless our opponent can buff them somehow. Or I mean block. They won't be able to block unless our opponent can buff them somehow.
I'll close my eyes, make it fair.
And that looks like lethal to me. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. We get the game.
Now begins a new era of peace.
Now begins a new era. A new era of peace. Fantastic. And we get up into top 300. No sweat. No sweat. Let's do another one. Alright, against Gamer Sean. Lucian Callista. Ooh. Ooh. Now this is a fun deck. If this deck is what I think it is, it's a fun deck. Reckoning. Ooh. Reckoning could actually be super interesting here. We'll need... Oh, not that. We won't need that. It's not what we're looking for. Oof. This is a rough opening hand. This is a very rough opening hand here. This is what I was thinking we'll need.
Sharpen the blades.
So now we have this Trifarian Glory Seeker, and we could very well see an early Reckoning. This deck... Ooh, or just a ton of damage to our opponent. That's fine too. What our opponent is probably playing
Push back the darkness.
is a, like, combo aggro deck. Centered around, like, getting Lucian
Always got your back.
Don't worry about me.
leveled up really quickly. This is a matchup in which I actually do wish I had Brittle Steel, right? But that's okay. We'll prevent 4 damage here.
You damn son.
We'll pass. And Reckoning here could kill both of our opponents' units and be a decent way to deal with the Lucian Senna combo. That being said, the problem with this is if I go for Reckoning here and our opponent has a single combat, that'd be really bad. If our opponent has a Glimpse Beyond, that would also be bad. A Glimpse Beyond on a Lucian would level up Senna, and she'd be 5 attack, and then Reckoning wouldn't kill her, right? That'd be bad. So I think we'll pass. We'll see if our opponent wants to do anything. They might burn our mana.
What's the plan?
Ooh, God. Ooh, that's bad. I don't think we can afford not to try. We're gonna try. The only thing I'm afraid of is exactly a Glimpse Beyond. And if he has it, we die. It's as simple as that. If he has exactly Glimpse Beyond, we actually just lose the game here. Anything else, then we're fine. That's not good enough, sir. I mean, it levels up Lucian. but he still dies. That's fine. So he could have more Lucians, but he has to like take a turn, an action to play them. He does actually get an attack here. However, double attack with ephemeral, not the best combo. So we're only taking 6, not 12. And then we're dealing 6.
Cut them apart.
So that went pretty well. All things considered, that went pretty well. We'll see what our opponent wants to drop next. If he drops another Lucian, I'll probably play the Omen Hawk. Nah, we might play Hearthguard.
Push back the darkness.
I'd love to play Hearthguard here, right? So I will. Our opponent could have like more units to play and then like kill them and get an extra rally with Lucian, but I'm pretty sure
Our strength is yours.
if he attacks with his Lucian, I will block with Hearthguard and and trade, right? I will trade these two. That's fine. Okay, he misses out on his rally. That's fine. We're gonna take 7 here.
Stand and defend.
But we take care of Lucian. Now we are running right out of steam here. That's better. That was a fantastic draw. We're gonna start with the Omen Hawk here, I think. See if our opponent wants to drop a 3rd Lucian or a Callista or something. Ooh, they don't. Ooh, they don't.
Winter take you.
So we'll take the 4-3 with our challenger. Ah, there's the Callista. Never mind. We'll take that.
You're mine.
You're mine.
Leaping into action.
And we'll try to make use of our troll chant here. Well, would you look at this? Oh, that's not good enough. Troll chant is not enough to save this. So we'll just save these two instead. Troll chant putting in some work. More work than Brittle Steel could ever put in, so good job, Troll Chant. Defending its spot in the deck list. We have a fat Sejuani here. Ugh. Harrowing is always rough. This is actually terrifying. Oh my goodness, do I lose? Do I just lose to this Harrowing now? I feel like I do. Dang. I need another Reckoning. Even that won't be good enough. Nah, that's it. Rough. That's rough.
Bow to no one.
Yeah, we can't block enough. And Lucian's gonna rally. I've played a deck like this quite a bit.
Mercy.
And
Scare me.
yeah. It's pretty rough. I mean, it's a fun deck. It's actually a really strong deck, right?
Leave no survivors.
I'll
As you can
protect the
see.
villages.
We don't have enough. If we had... Nah, we'd need like double Brittle Steel to survive here. We did our best.
Too damn soon.
Oh, I actually blocked wrong. I should have blocked the second Senna, because that does more damage. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. So yeah, GG by our opponent. If we had had another Reckoning there,
Make us stronger.
we might have been fine. But what you gonna do? Hey, we get the rematch. We get the rematch. Alright, so now that we know exactly what it is we're going up against, We're gonna need to do a full mulligan. We maybe keep Flash Freeze here, actually, as an answer to Lucian or Senna. But I think I'd rather ensure that I get low-cost units. There we go. I like that better. We can draw into Frostbites, but I want to make sure that we have early units early.
They're out there.
I'll spot them.
In Avarosa's name.
We're gonna attack here, because if he wants to make the trade while there are no units that benefit from seeing a death, that's good for us. What we don't want him to do is to play Lucian and then... Interesting. We'll pass. It's almost always safe to pass after your opponent just plays ephemeral units. Because what are they going to do? Pass back and let them all die? Okay. That's a pretty good attack. I don't think we play anything. If I play Avarosan Sentry or whatever, it'll just die to a challenger. So I think we are okay with taking this damage. Again, we're going to take some damage, but our opponent has not set up any sort of combo, right?
Grow up so fast.
Our opponent can't use this to level up Lucian or Callista or anything along those lines.
Patience.
We could have played Trapper there to soak a little bit of damage, but I'm not too worried about it. I think we play the Yeti now,
These stories were
alongside
true.
of our Trapper. Or I mean our Sentry.
These old eyes still see far and clear. Safeguard our homes. No, 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 no.
Alright, he trades those, that's fine.
The village.
We hit our opponent back for another 8. Another Haunted Relic. This is very interesting. Again, I think I'm just gonna pass. Okay. He's using it to get his butcher in. I'm still gonna pass. I'm gonna play the Hearthguard here.
We fight for one Freljord.
Okay.
Tread carefully.
I'll block the 1. This already doesn't have a great, okay, that's fine. I was gonna say, this doesn't have a great block or attack into these 3/2s anyway. So if it just dies... I was hoping it would survive that in combat, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so we know our opponent wants to kill us with the Harrowing, right? That's his game plan. So we're gonna try... I was gonna say we'll try to spread out as much as we can, but that doesn't seem to be much of an option.
Our strength is yours.
Given the way our opponent's been playing,
Show them what we're made of.
Avarosans, stand together.
we could have another sharp sight, right? Ah, yikes. Ooh, this is a yikes. We'll play around sharp sight. He just used a sharp sight, right? But given the way our opponent's been playing, he doesn't have too many units, which leads me to believe he probably does have a Harrowing. So if I attack here and he has a sharp sight, I'll get a bad trade because Cythria will kill this. If I attack and he doesn't have a sharp sight, he'll just block this, and then his Harrowing will be better. So an attack there was just bad all around. Was just bad all around. I expect my opponent will go for the Harrowing now. If he does, we'll probably play the Assessor. Draw some cards. We could play the Bjerg. Actually, we'll probably play Bjerg, because Bjerg allows us to have mana up for Flash Freeze and Culling Strike. Okay, our opponent does not go for it. Our opponent goes for a Cursed Keeper. We actually could still go for Flash Freeze plus Culling Strike, so I think I'm still gonna play the Bjerg.
For tall as a mountain and covered in ice.
We're not trying to... if we survive the next couple turns, we will outlast our opponent. We will outvalue our opponent. We just need to make sure we survive this Cythria, you know, these cards right here. We'll pass. Very interesting.
This is our homeland. Stand and defend.
Pretty easy set of blocks here. Let's see if our opponent wants to do anything about it, because right now he's losing Lucian and Cythria, and he's going to like 1 versus 7. So I guess that's good enough for our opponent, and it's definitely good enough for us. We could have gone for a Flash Freeze there or something, but we maintain our reactivity.
Took the bait.
And we can just refill the board and kind of win from here, right?
It can't be.
I could have gone for an open attack there, which might have won us the game, but if he has a surprise like Vile Feast or something, I'd like to play around it. Okay, so we force a defensive harrowing out of our opponent, and that's fine. That is totally fine. We'll just refill our hand.
Few earn the right to call themselves Trifarian.
Even play this.
Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
To dance.
Okay. That harrowing goes away. Our board is completely full. And this game is pretty over. We get him. We get him in the rematch. I respect that he actually gave us the GG there. After he BM'd. We don't BM back. We're not that time of player, right? We're a nice player, so we don't BM even though he BM'd us before. Nice. Alright. It's Ezreal. So we get an Ezreal matchup. The Swain version this time. We'll keep 1 copy of Culling Strike, because it's really good against a lot of cards in this deck, namely Swain and Ezreal. We don't keep the Glory Seeker because it's an easy shot, or Mystic Shot and whatnot. So we'll keep a Culling Strike. Oof. All right, we get another Glory Seeker back. Not ideal. Not an ideal first drop, but it's better than nothing, right? We're not going to drop it this turn. We'll wait until we have the potential Troll Chant backup.
I need just a
We'll
moment.
play it now. We see a Sentry. That's interesting. If our opponent goes for a Ravenous Flock onto this Glory Seeker, I mean, that is totally fine with me. Opponent goes for nothing. Interesting. Very interesting. We'll drop our Ashe
All
here.
the world on one arrow.
We will drop our Ashe here.
Put on me mask, secure me tail.
Stop the die. Stop the die.
For glory.
For glory.
You're mine.
So, Ashe is going to Frostbite the strongest unit, right? So we have a choice here. We can either drag... Generally what you want to do with these 2 units is drag whatever's frostbitten and get a free kill with Glory Seeker. But if I do that, then the Spider trades with Ashe. But if I do this, the Chump Wump survives and we lose our 5-1. I think that's fine. Given that this deck is very good at killing 1 health units, I don't think keeping this alive is very important. In fact, they might just shoot it now. Oh, they go for Ashe. Wow. Ashe is something I'd like to keep alive, so we will actually... We'll actually do this. It's not enough to get to save our Glory Seeker here. And Ashe can still go down to a Ravenous Flock, which is also less than ideal. I'd love to see a Swain here. We should probably make this trade. This feels bad. It feels bad to trade an Ashe here. But I don't want to take the damage. And I feel like it's going to be hard to keep her alive later anyway.
These are our lands.
So I'll bite the bullet. I'll trade the Ashe. We'll play the Trapper.
Gotcha.
See if we can get that Yeti out here right quick. I'd love to just draw the Yeti off the top, and then play Bjerg and draw something else. But if I play Bjerg and Bjerg draws the Yeti, then I guess that's fine. You want to avoid that if you can. You want to avoid... Oh, is this a flock? Is this a Ravenous Flock? Oh, nope. No flock. This is the second time he's passed it up. Nice. And we do see the Yeti off the top, which is very nice. We'll drop it.
What did we catch?
See what our opponent wants to do. Next up, probably the Bjerg.
Behind you! A Yeti! Yetis?
There's no such thing. Something interesting to note, by the way, is that when Babbling Bjerg says behind you a Yeti to the Trapper, it's because there's literally a Yeti behind him. Not everyone knows this. Not everyone knew. I see this on Reddit all the time. People are always surprised. There's a Yeti in this art. Look, there's a Yeti behind him. There he is. Look at him. He's a cutie. So that's why Bjerg says that. Ah, behind you, a Yeti.
Hot on the trail.
We'll full attack here. I imagine he'll... Wow. I was going to say, I'll imagine he trades with one of the 3/3s. Which is fine for us. Again, we are saving this Culling Strike for either Ezreal or Swain, right? Our opponent goes for a Guillotine.
They'll come for you!
And we see a Sejuani. We haven't seen any Hearthguards yet, which is pretty sad. We're gonna drop Ashe here. We could drop Sejuani, but I think I'd rather drop Ashe.
Faster than my arrow.
I'd like to make use of Sejuani's play effect, if possible. It might not happen. It might not be possible, but we'll see what happens. Okay, our opponent's probably going to kill Ashe here. Ezreal's leveled up, but Swain is not yet. As soon as Swain levels up, this Culling Strike becomes a bit less valuable. Ooh. I do like this Hearthguard here.
The War Mother will unite us all.
Open attacking with Ashe is kind of pointless, because since she's so low health, she can die to literally everything at fast speed. So if we attacked with her, she probably still wouldn't connect, and we wouldn't get any Frostbites. There's just not a lot of point in open attacking here. Wow, our opponent goes for a Tri-Beam and kills our 5/5. That's pretty sad, but at least now Ashe will Frostbite something,
Through waiting.
and we can make use of this Culling Strike, right? Yep. Okay, Death Lotus. Okay. Alright. This Tusk Rider is a bit of a problem.
Unify the tribes.
Alright, Swain's leveled up. We still don't see an Ezreal.
Empire above all.
I think
Master, your
as much as I'd like to hold out and not play this until I see an Ezreal, I don't think we can afford that anymore. Then again, we do have Frostbites in our hand. That still feels like it was probably wrong, actually. Like, we could have used that with Sejuani to, like, kill Swain there, so that still might have been wrong. If we draw another one, I mean, it'll be fine. We draw Farron. Ooh, we draw Farron. Our opponent goes for Leviathan, which actually means it's kind of safe to play Farron here. Because our opponent only has 1 mana. Nothing on 1 mana can damage the Nexus. So Swain can't stun Farron here. So this is actually a very good time to play this. Blade's Edge. I mean, if our opponent's running Blade's Edge, he could stun Captain Farron, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
darken the skies.
Now, Farron does get stunned by this neat little combo here. Not ideal. This deck does not have any healing. So if we manage to actually burn down our opponent, we could still... I think that's probably the play. I think we're just gonna go for the Decimates and try to kill our opponent. We have the Harsh Winds to stop our opponent's attack. Ezreal's a problem.
Don't know what they're up against. Don't blink or you'll miss me.
Ezreal's a problem, and now I can't place... If I play Sejuani and try to kill Ezreal that way, Swain will be able to stun her. I think we have to just play Decimate and win that way. Enough, or end this. Captain Farron is just gonna end it, all by himself, sort of. We'll bank that 3 spell mana, so next turn, that's fine. Next turn, we'll have the Harsh Winds to stop as much damage as we can. Obviously, we can't block anything here because our only blocker will be stunned. This is close. This is very close. It's gonna depend on how much damage he can get out with Ezreal here. So that's gonna put us down to 4. That's actually still too much. I think he has us here. Decimate is just too slow. It's just too slow. Because if we let that happen, we're gonna go down to 4, and he's gonna get a Mystic Shot and a Mushroom Cloud. And since Decimate is at slow speed, all he has to do is play the Mushroom Cloud and the Mystic Shot on our face, and we die. So that won't work. So we have to also Harsh Winds this. But this means we can't play Decimate until next turn, and the Leviathan's gonna hit us 3 more times, and I think we're in a similar spot. I think they have just a bit too much damage for us. Yeah. I think using that Culling Strike on the Elephant was still a mistake. Oh, he actually discards the Mushroom Cloud. That's interesting. That actually makes me feel better about this.
Such little lies.
There's no point in waiting. We can't react with Decimate. So there's no point in like waiting and like trying to get Ezreal to do stuff. We should just go for it now. Like we have this Reckoning, which is great and all. It'll kill everything except the Leviathan, but I'm pretty sure the Decimate either wins or it doesn't. So yeah. Hey, and it won. We got him. We got him. Decimate too strong. Farron OP. There you go. There you go. Ooh, that feels good. Ooh. Ooh. That was close. I thought he had us for sure. So yeah, that's the Frostbite's deck. Again, one of the oldest decks in the game. Nothing new here, but it's still putting in work. This is the deck that counters any sort of Demacia strategy, really. Especially this deck, the Strike deck, has a very hard time dealing with Frostbites. So if you're struggling against this, we didn't run into it today, but if you're struggling against this kind of deck, this Frostbites is the deck for you. And yeah, that's one of the decks I'm considering for my seasonal tournaments. I hope you guys enjoyed those games. I hope you learned something. I hope you're inspired. If in case you don't know, I stream every weekday, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. That is Pacific Standard Time. Come hang out. We have a great time. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.